Hi, this is my first time coming to Waycross Community TV. My name is Miss Sally, and this is a new program developed just for you. All right, so what's Kids Page all about? I'm going to tell you. Mostly about God, Jesus, and how to live in this world. This world's kind of hard to live in sometimes, but we're going to learn how to live in it, okay? And guess what? There's an email address. I'll give that to you at the end of the program. Right now, I want you to grab a grown-up with a paper and pen or pencil so they can write it down at the end of the show, okay? So I will let you know that if you have any questions or you hear something during our broadcast that you want to know about, you email me those questions or those comments, and I will take a look at them. And if there's something that I find interesting that someone else might want to know about, I will put it on the air. So be thinking about the things that you want to learn about God. So I want to ask you a question. Is God real? Now don't answer that out loud because I can't hear you. But God can. So if you do answer anything out loud, that's okay. But I wanted to let you know that I have a couple of things to tell you that shows that God is real. So now I want you to sit down if you're not already. I want you to take a deep breath like this and then let it out. Now let's do that same thing again, only this time I'm going to count to 3 and we're going to hold it and then let it out very slowly. So let's get ready. Take a deep breath in. 1, 2, 3. Now let it out. Now let's do that one more time, but let's do a normal breath. Yeah. So now let's ask this question. And you can answer it out loud, but I won't hear you. But God will. So where does air come from? I can tell you this. If you said it's from God, you are absolutely right. Chalk one up for God. Give yourself a high five. Or if someone's there next to you, give them a high five. Did God invent air? No, he did not. He is the air we breathe. So this is one way we know that God is real and that he lives. Let's look at another way that we can know that God is real and that he's alive. How did people start living on this earth? Well, if we take a look in the Bible, which I'm not going to do today because I need more time. The Bible is God's word, and that's living. It's hard to understand, but God told people to write out what he told them to do. So God has a way of speaking to people because it's a gift he gives them. They wrote things down on scrolls, not in books like what we have. I have a pretend scroll here. Okay, this is just 2 pieces of copy paper put together. And I wrote down a few Hebrew letters on this. Can you see those? Now, I don't understand Hebrew at all. But from what I know, these are some letters from the alphabet. But the scrolls, they were made out of animal skins. They were made out of parchment paper. So, and I don't really know what parchment paper is, but I promise you I will look that up for the next program, and then we will all know. So the first book of the Bible is Genesis, the first word God ever spoke to our knowledge. The very first words in Genesis says, "And in the beginning, God made heaven and earth." This means nothing was made, nothing that we know in our world today. So that means there was no earth, no planets, no stars, no sky, no water, no mountains, no ground, no trees, no plants, no people. There was no sun and no moon. So there was nothing but darkness. I'm sure that if you've gone to bed sometimes and the lights are turned out and it's very dark in your room, it can be a little bit scary not to have any light in there. I know when I was a little girl, I was afraid of the light. I was afraid of the darkness, The light was what turned on in my room, and it didn't scare me anymore. So there was nothing but darkness. But God was in the darkness. Whoa! Now that's hard to imagine. How do we understand that God could be in the darkness? I know, because God is light. So wherever God goes, there is light somewhere. So if you're shaking your head and you're smiling at this, I can't know that, but I'm just glad that you are able to share that with others in the same room. So let's see. I think that I am running out of time right now, but oh, my producer tells me that I still have a little bit of time. So guess what? Because of that, I'm going to read to you a little bit about Adam and Eve from the Bible. So now I want you to understand, when God says that He's going to make men in his image, He actually says, the Lord said, "Let us make man in our image." So that means that Jesus was there with Him. So 1 minute, kids. I've got to find my Bible verse here. I'm sorry about that. I forgot my Bible, so I'm reading one that's got teeny tiny print. Can you see that? I know it's really little, isn't it? Okay. So I'm reading in Genesis 1 for any adult that might be watching, and it starts at verse number 26. God said, "Let us make man in our image, according to our likeness, and let them rule over the fish of the sea, and over all the birds, and all the cattle, all the animals, and all the earth." And God created man in His own image. That means that God created us in His image. And He made male and female. Now, God didn't just make the man the same as He did the woman. When God made man, He made Adam. He named him Adam first. Now, God made Adam from the dirt that was in the ground. Now tell me this. Can you make dirt? I know you can make things from dirt, But can you invent dirt? I don't think so. I know I can't. So, with that in mind, that shows that God is real, because only God can make dirt. Well, God took that dirt, and the way you like to play with clay, God made a man out of that dirt. And when he was done making that man, guess what he did? He took his own breath and he went. And the man breathed his air. And then Adam opened his eyes. What a miracle. I can't do that. God is living. He was living in Adam. Well, then guess what? Adam got lonely. He says, you know, God, I need someone to talk to. So God made Eve. But here's how God made Eve. He had Adam lay down and put Adam in a deep sleep. So if you've ever had surgery and you've been put under for something, that's how God did that. Only they didn't have any kind of anesthetic back then, and that's a big word, meaning that you didn't know what was going on while somebody was fixing you up. Well, so God put Adam in a deep sleep. He took a rib out of Adam, and don't ask me how he did that. I haven't the slightest idea. But anyway, he put that rib in Eve, and he created Eve. It's amazing the things that God can do. And you know, there's a lot of reasons why we can know that God is real. So I will tell you a few more things on our next issue. My time's about up right now. But I want to tell you, I'm really glad that you tuned in. This is the first of many sessions yet to come. If I don't get back before